What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, today we are talking about Tamorrion Terry out of FSU, the original Scary Terry, at least in my head, all right? I'm not going to lie. When Terry McLaurin came out and was a baller his rookie year, I was so internally upset because the real Scary Terry is Tamorrion Terry. I literally am re-recording the intro for this video because I'd never once said his first name out loud. Scary Terry, bro. That's his name. That's what he is. I'm an FSU fan, guys. I've been high on this guy since his freshman year. He's been baller for FSU for a while, and I promise I did everything in my power not to be biased on this dude. I literally, when I went into watching his film, watching his games, I literally was like, I'm gonna hate this guy. He did not live up to the potential. I'm mad. I hate him. I'm a Florida State fan, and I'm not gonna like anybody on Florida State because Florida State's offense has fucking sucked, right? And then I came out of this and I am not that way at all. This dude's in my top 10 wide receivers. Call me biased in the comments. Let me know what you think, but hear me out before you do, all right? Let's get into some of his physical traits. Put up the graphic now for you. We're talking about a guy who is 6'4", 215 pounds, 118 receptions, 2,221 yards, and 18 touchdowns, and he is a junior. This dude's a baller, man. An absolute baller for FSU. Great receiver who was really let down by his quarterback a lot the past couple years. Just couldn't get him the ball. This guy should have been the centerpiece of the offense. And look, I'm a fan talking right now. I got to stop. I'm sorry. Let's get into the skill chart right now and break down his game in a little bit better way. Route running at a 4.9. You look, still positive grade. My average is 4.5. So at a 4.9, it's still positive. It's not quite where you would like it to be for a guy that I do consider to be a day 2 pick, right? I think he'll go somewhere in that 2nd to 3rd round range. Not enough variety in his route running. I think that was the main issue I kept coming away from. Could stand out a little bit more suddenness at the top of his routes. Things like that were certainly an issue, but overall not a terrible grade, and certainly could stand to improve, and I think will improve. Hands at a 5.7 checks the box. I'm good with his hands. Catches everything around him. Solid, strong hands. What else is there to say there? Athleticism at a 6.2. Dude's an athlete, man. Dude is physically very impressive. I actually, before recording this, went to check what did he run his pro day. Just kind of curious. Well, he had a hamstring issue and didn't run, and that's kind of concerning just because, obviously maybe it's a real hamstring issue, but also maybe he knew he wasn't going to run that fast and didn't want to tank his draft stock. I don't know. I think he was certainly explosive and definitely checked the box for me as far as athleticism at the next level based on just watching his game. So I don't have an issue with that. I definitely think, you're not talking about upper echelon of some of the top athletes at the wide receiver position in this class. But, as 6.2, that's still a very good positive grade and definitely belongs, I think, in this conversation that we're talking about him. Quickness at a 5.8. We're talking about a guy who's, like I said, 6'4". This is a bigger bodied receiver, a little bit maybe leaner, but honestly, to me, he is very similar to me as a Michael Thomas as far as big, long receiver who's a lot quicker than he has any right to be, right? And that's kind of the area I would talk about. I'm not saying he's Michael Thomas. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But as far as his quickness compared to other big-bodied guys in the NFL, that's a comparison I'm willing to make. Contested catch 5.7. Yeah, he's very good down the field. I think that's going to be certainly an aspect to his game. I don't think he's a guy that you can just pigeonhole into that X receiver and just say, hey, do this, run the go route, run the post, run that 20 times a game. That's all you're going to get to do. I do think he has some value on the inside as a big slot. I do think he has some value in space with the ball in his hands and things. And again, bigger guy who I can say that about. That's exciting to me. I think the variety in which he can play the position is super exciting for a guy like this, right? Yak at a 6.4. Look, I just mentioned it. He's very good with the ball in his hands. I like him in space a whole lot. And listen, I know I said before we got into the skill chart here, and hey, maybe I am being a fanboy. I don't know. I can't honestly take off that hat completely of being a fan, but I've always thought that he needed to have more of a role in the offense offense. I always thought that he needed to be the centerpiece of the passing offense, right? Get him the ball every which way you can. And the quarterback let him down, and I think the scheme let him down a little bit, to the point where I think if he could have had, the opportunity presented to him, he might be in this conversation of a first round wide receiver if given the opportunity and excelling at that role that I wish I could have seen in him in college. And again, that's a projection. That's a huge projection on my part. Maybe I'm wrong there, but that's just my take. All right. Cut, change of direction. Hey, we're talking about a guy, like I said, quickness. I'm good with it. His lateral quickness is there. He can put you on ice. He can put you in skates, all those things. I'm good with it. Route tree at a 4. Look, didn't have an expansive route tree. I'm not going to sit here and say he did. I think it's fine. Again, I kind of goes back to route running a little bit. I do think there's a lot that could be added to his game from the technical side of things, but that's okay. Hey, again, that's where you get into projections and projecting him to the next level, and kind of making that assumption that he can make those jumps from a route tree perspective, from a route running perspective, all those things. Yeah, I believe he can do it. He's an athlete. Everything about his game says he's an athlete. I think he can learn to turn at the right spot and learn the technical aspects of the position, right? A little bit better than he has it right now. Contact balance at a 6.6. Yeah, this dude is a fighter. I mean, that's the big thing that I haven't talked about yet that needs to be understood when we talk about Tam Terry. And I mean, he is a fighter. It's almost too much. Like, sometimes I think he gets a little hot-headed, gets a little chippy. But I mean, look, you're not going to beat him off the line and press. I mean, he's just too physically strong and too powerful, and it's just not going to happen, right? Body control at a 6.8. Again, he knows what he's doing. Body control, contested catch, all that. I don't think it's like I just did a video. I'm recording these videos back to back, so I just talked about Nico Collins, which will probably be coming out the day before this video comes out, and I talked about how that was elite body control, elite contested catch, elite contact balance. For me, Tam Terry, it's not elite, but it's in that next tier down from elite, right? So all those things kind of go hand in hand when you're talking about like these big body guys that are going to be down the field, 50-50 ball type of players, right? For me, he's not elite in any of those categories, but is right under elite and still very good and very exciting for the next level. Something that I certainly think he will be asked to do and will do at a high level. Release at a 5.5. Like, again, he's a fighter. I'm not going to sit here and say it's always perfect, but a fighter off the line. He like I said, gets chippy. He wants to tear people's head off at times. It's really, really fun to watch. Separation at a 4.7. This is the thing that scares me the most. This is the reason I'm okay with putting him in that next tier of wide receivers, right? I don't know how much separation he gets once the route running gets better, right? Like, I think it can only go up, but he wasn't getting quite enough separation for my liking. I would like a little bit more. And at this level, at the college level, when you're projecting these wide receivers, the best thing you can see is consistent separation just through sheer athleticism, speed, quickness, right? And he certainly has the athleticism. I'm believing that. And the separation, look, it's a positive grade, 4.7. I think he separated more than he didn't. But when you're projecting these receivers in that day 2 range, yeah, you want this to be a little bit better. And it's probably like my biggest hiccup when I talk about Tam Terry. And you got to look again, not one of these athletic profile grades are below my baseline of average, right? So I'm still very high on this dude. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But yeah, separation is certainly an issue. Blocking at an 8.5. I think he's going to be my best blocking wide receiver in this class. And maybe I'm just a fanboy a little bit of guys that are just physical and fighters and just like he wants to tear guys' head off. He genuinely enjoys the blocking aspect of the wide receiver position, right? I think that grit and that like edge to him, I think it's going to be a big reason why coaches fall in love with him. I'm projecting that to happen for sure. Overall, guys, I do look at Scary Terry as a guy who is firmly in that day 2 conversation. I do believe he's, late second, early third kind of guy with a ton of positional variety or versatility at the wide receiver position. I think he can do a lot of different things very well as a big-bodied possession receiver on the outside, in the slot. I'm excited to see what teams want to do with him and what teams target him to be that legit number 2 or possibly compete to be the number 1 wide receiver on a team. I think he has that upside for sure, and with the variety in which he can play, with the amount of offenses and offensive coordinators out there that are looking for guys that can do a lot of different things on the offense. Yeah, there's a lot of excitement that I think deserves to be around his name. There's certainly a lot of excitement for me around his name. For my rankings, he is my number 9 wide receiver right now, and that is subject to change. We'll see what happens. But for me, he's right in that conversation with like Nico Collins at number 8, who I just did a video on, as I mentioned earlier. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 10 and Rashad Bateman at number 11. They're all in a clump, right? They're all very, very close together, and we'll see what happens. Hey, maybe one of those guys gets ahead, and I've actually done a video on all those guys. So if you're in the comments saying, what the fuck is Rashad Bateman doing so low on your list? Hey, go watch my video on it. I'll explain it a little bit better than I do. I'm not quite as high on as the public on Rashad Bateman. That's okay. It's not always going to be like that. I'm allowed to be a little different here. So go check that video out if you're interested in why I'm a little bit lower than the public on him. But overall, Tim Terry, really, really exciting guy that I am pumped to see where he goes. And I just hope he goes to an offense that will utilize his variety of traits and variety of skills. But guys, thank you so much for watching. That is all I have on Scary Terry today. Let me know in the comments if you think I was a little bit too much of a fanboy. You think I'm overhyping this guy? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you think you would enjoy more. And a special shout out to everyone who has already subscribed to this channel. I know I'm a small channel, but hey, I have had so much momentum over the past 2 months. We're really getting into this draft season, and I just want to thank everybody who has already subscribed and has already been supporting me. Hey man, huge shout out for supporting a small channel. It means so much to guys like me, and I just really, really appreciate it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Peace out.